Oh my god. Okay. Welcome to the Spookycast. Oh god.
He's Cody Bowden. I'm Derek Brown. We're going to talk about Angel of Death, otherwise known as The Woman in Black 2, a sequel nobody asked for to a movie that had Harry Potter in it.
I don't know if you should say a sequel no one asked for, because
Hammer Films obviously asked for it.
I guess so, but that's the thing though. It doesn't have Daniel Radcliffe, and wasn't that the point of the first one? Because no one has seen him in other movies.
Yeah.
So when they saw him,
he was supposed to be in this movie called Horns that came out last year, just about this guy, Harry Potter.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna get right into it, Derek. I'm gonna talk about this movie.
The Woman in Black 2.
Yes, sir.
Do it.
So,
bring the thunder.
I haven't seen the first one. Obviously, I've said that a million times.
Which is good because this movie doesn't reference it at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Does it really not?
No.
Besides the house and the ghosts.
Besides the house, the location of it, and the ghost.
Okay. Well, I mean, looking at the first one, Daniel Radcliffe, I mean, that's why you would have seen it. You would have seen it for Harry Potter. So the fact that he's not in this one is kind of confusing, because it's like, why would they want to make a sequel when the main star in the first one isn't even in it? You know?
And he was
a
star when he was a megastar.
Yeah, the Woman in Black. What kind of title is that? That's such a boring, generic title. It could have been the Robed Lady. You know, it could have been anything. Yeah. So the fact that he was in it made it the selling point. He was the selling point.
Did you know? You probably don't know.
No.
Because you didn't even know about the first one. But it's a remake of this made-for-television film from the 70s.
Really?
Yes. Never saw it. I've only seen the poster for it on Wikipedia. Oops, name drop. But it shows the picture of the marsh surrounding the house.
Uh-huh.
And then the woman standing very far away. Just like this blip, maybe about as tall as that guy on my AC/DC thing. The one that looks like he's from the Village People.
We've lost the audience there because they can't see that poster.
It's the cover for Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, if you happen to be an AC/DC fan.
But no, here's the thing though,
it's got a biker man on.
Oh, never mind. So
anyway, tangent. So it's a sequel to a remake of a 1970s film.
Really?
So it can only be as good as you think that makes it.
Okay.
I suppose. But
why didn't we watch that?
Because we are on a tight schedule, mister. So we're already unprepared.
So we literally, right after work, Derek came over and we went straight to the movie theater. Yeah. And we didn't even know what the show times were. We just straight up went in there, got some McDonald's, waited around a bit, and then pretty much just saw this a day after the premiere.
No, today was the premiere of it.
And okay, so
we saw it about as fresh as everybody else.
Pretty much. This is I guess so. Just a little bit into the same day.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the first horror movie of 2015.
Yeah.
So we're kicking off to a mediocre start.
Yeah.
You know?
That's usually the case with horror films that come out this time of year. The last few years. Last year started off with Paranormal Activity, the marked ones. And that
marked ones, what's that?
That was a spin-off of Paranormal Activity.
How do you have a spin-off of that? That's like saying, hey, we're going to make a Peanuts movie. It's a spin-off. It has just Snoopy and Woodstock. There's 30 Peanuts films out there. That's half of them. They're just Snoopy and Woodstock.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
It was
silly. Does it have some of the same characters?
It has one, and it's that girl from all of the movies.
She's in all of them?
Kate, yeah.
Holy crap, really? She's been through some shit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Isn't there 6 of them?
5. Marked ones was the 5th one.
God, and some of these movies span months. They move and
there's quite a lore built up in it, if only I gave a shit. So
well, there you go.
Last year started off with that. 2013 started off with Texas Chainsaw 3D.
Okay.
Which was okay when I saw it.
I thought you said you liked it. Was it your favorite of the Texas Chainsaw films?
No.
No.
I liked the first remake from 2003, the Michael Bay one. That's right, I said it. I liked a Michael Bay version of a horror film.
That's crazy. I didn't even know Michael Bay did any horror.
He did the remakes for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Friday the 13th.
Oh, wow.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
That was bad, though. I saw that. He did the 13th one, pretty much, huh?
Yeah.
He blew it. It was the 13th, Friday the 13th, and it could have been something new and, like... I mean, still following the format, but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it's either
fresh.
the 12th or the 13th. One of the two.
It's the 13th. I looked that up.
Yeah.
I looked that up because they just called it Friday the 13th. I was like, what happened to the numbers? You know?
You're like, well, that's why.
But think about it. Friday the 13th, part 13, would have been
Friday the 13th squared.
I mean, that's a lot of X's and I's, you know what I mean? There's a V in there somewhere. That would have been really fucky. Yes.
Quite the clusterfuck. So, January does not have a good reputation for horror films.
Really? Well, because, October.
Like
that's when...
Like the first time I watched one in January in the theaters was The Devil Inside, which came out in 2012.
Okay.
That was a piece of garbage.
Well, by the way, if we don't have a horror movie coming out in the month, which is really unlikely, we're probably either going to review older horror movies, ones that have come out before, obscure ones possibly,
Yes.
maybe a few joke ones too, or we could
Why?
just watch Grown Ups 2. That's a pretty terrifying movie.
I've heard so.
Dude, I know a lot of people that like
Shaq acts in it. God.
I heard Shaq
I can
is
only
good.
imagine.
Shaq is funny, actually.
Is he?
Shaq is really
I like him in Scary Movie 3.
Oh, yeah.
The opening with Dr. Phil.
Oh, yeah. Wait, you need to... Oh, the Saw opening?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
That was not horrible. That was the best part of that film.
You need to stop touching yourself, Derek.
I've been drinking.
Oh, I know.
It's been a long night.
I know. But we need to put the spaghetti down. Oh, yeah, by the way, Derek has a... you just kicked the mic. Derek has a Tupperware full of mom's spaghetti.
Yeah, stepmom spaghetti.
Stepmom spaghetti. I don't know if that makes it any different.
It's a step above the rest.
Is that from something?
Nope.
Is that...
I'll be here all night.
That's all,
This is my bedroom. I'm gonna go to sleep right after this podcast.
That's disturbing. That sounds like a jingle for like a product that doesn't. It's a step above the rest. Kind of like best part of waking up.
Unbelievable.
Crumbelievable. I love
Yeah.
Is that the Uncrustables commercial?
Yes.
Those are good.
Yes.
I like Uncrustables. I should have brought those in the movie theater.
That would have been great.
Yeah, so let's talk about the theater we went to. The fuck? Okay, like, it doesn't matter. Like, I'll enjoy movies sitting wherever. You know? I can sit in, like, a beanbag chair or... Well, I can't say that. A lot of people like beanbag chairs, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I can sit in, I don't know, like a lawn chair, and I'll probably be fine. Like
As long as it's a good movie.
like a stool. Yeah, yeah. But those seats were, like, they were so stiff. You couldn't lean back at all.
No. And there were too many people to where you couldn't even put your feet up on the seat.
Yeah, I was crossing my legs and I was almost kicking Derek's knees. I was an inch away from, yeah, and if it was actually scary, then I would have been kicking the shit out of him. Because I would have been flinching and flexing and...
You give it away, give it away, give it away now.
Give it away. No, well, not really.
Well, like I said...
I can cut that out, Derek.
Horror films that come out in January are generally not good. The only one that I can remember in recent years was 2 years ago, Mama. And not a lot of people liked it.
I didn't like it.
I liked it.
I thought it was kind of... I mean, it was really creepy how, like, they animated her. Yeah. We could talk about that if you'd like.
That was the high selling point of that movie. That's why I liked it so much.
Do you know why I kind of like that movie, though? I love moths. Moths. I love them so much, I don't know how to say them. I can't express how much I love them. Because they're just like butterflies, but they're like really fuzzy, you know? They're like fuzzy butterflies.
They keep warm in the winter.
Yeah, it's adorable.
January.
It's adorable.
Perfect.
Oh my god, hey, there you go. There you go. But let's talk about the actual movie then.
The Woman
Shall
in Black
we?
or Mama?
Woman in Black. We're not reviewing Mama. Wait, are we reviewing Mama?
Next week.
Did I watch the wrong
We'll
movie?
just talk about all January horror films.
Right now?
No, next week. We'll talk about Mama or something next week. But
We could watch Dr. Dolittle.
That is a horrible movie.
I want to watch
The older
movies
I get,
like.
the more terrible
That's
it gets.
terrible.
Terrible. So The Woman in Black 2 has nothing to do with The Woman in Black 1, except for The Woman in Black.
So you've said.
Yes. So, this, instead of taking place in the 1800s, like the first one did...
Okay, yeah, tell me exactly do you remember what year the first movie started? Because,
it was
I
like
said...
late 1800s or early 1900s, because there is a car.
So it's been... Okay, well...
There is one car, and they say in the movie that he only owns it because he's the richest guy in the county. And they're just brand new.
I think, like, literally, like, 1901 is when they started, like, pushing cars out, like, automobiles. So, I'm going to guess...
I think the latest it was 1928.
Yeah. Okay, so...
That's the latest it could have been. So,
it's pre-World War One.
It's right in the middle of it.
It's right in the middle...
1941. That's when we
No,
joined.
not this movie.
Oh, yeah.
But
Woman in Black one.
Woman in Black was pre-World War One or post-World War One?
It was pre.
So it was before 1914, essentially.
I think.
At the
I'll
very
have to
least,
look it up.
At the very least, it's around 1910.
It doesn't concern itself with the World War.
Okay. But this movie, this caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting it. I was literally not expecting World War II. Like, it starts out with what? They're like in a tunnel.
Yeah.
And
a bunch of refugees in Britain being all British.
And the main character, Eve, is smiling. She's so happy to be bombarded by the Nazis. And this one girl's like, bitch, why you smiling?
And she's just like, you gotta keep that face up.
Yeah.
Gotta keep a stiff upper lip.
There's like kids like dying in the corner. She's just smiling at him.
She's just like,
laughter's the best medicine.
Patch Adams.
I think she has okay, we'll talk about her quite a lot. She has extensive psychosis, I'm almost positive. She's insane.
It's some kind of post-traumatic stress disorder. Maybe. I don't know.
We're too drunk to say disorder.
Probably.
Okay.
You can't reveal that. That'll give away all of our credibility as critics.
No. Oh no, our credibility. Oh no, all of our viewers. Bye, Mom.
Bye, Dad.
Well,
bye, Uncle Jeff.
I want to address really quickly to all of our viewer out there. Cameron, when you close the door, could you kind of, turn the handle a little bit more before you do it? Because you kind of slam it when you leave. Anyway, thank you.
You disrupt his personal time.
My personal time.
If you catch my drift.
Don't give me those gestures. But it starts out...
World War
II. It's 1941. I remember this.
And the British are getting bombed by Germans.
Yes. And
hardcore.
I really want to bring this up. That is the worst contrast I've ever seen in a horror movie. Because not only were the Nazis the realest, most horrifying enemies ever in history, but you put that right in the beginning of a horror movie, all I'm going to think of is, who gives a shit about 5 kids or whatever and like a school teacher when literally right down the street everyone's dying?
Yeah, bunch of selfish people up in this haunted house.
Yeah, this haunted house. Who cares about haunted house? Exactly, that's what I'm trying to say, right?
The world is falling apart around them.
At any moment, this haunted house could have been bombed by
Private Ryan is suiting up to get saved at this point.
He's suiting up to get saved.
It's right about that time. So
they're like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm going to be saved
in 3 years."
That's gross.
Because doesn't Private Ryan start off on D-Day? That's 44. That's 3 years later.
Yes, I think so. Yeah. Okay.
So, seeking refuge, like good refuge, and security, they take these kids from this school because presumably their school has been bombed to dust. I can only imagine. So, because they think education's important, they shack up at this house, unbeknownst to them, to be haunted.
Yeah, that's pretty much the premise. Is the Nazis are bombing London. School teacher, bunch of little ankle biters go with her on a train. Spooky house. That's the only house they had that was safe and in the countryside,
and of course,
way out there.
Like every haunted house film, nobody ever tells them it's haunted.
Oh no, yeah. There's characters that seem like they know what's going on.
Like their escort. What a douche he was.
That guy. He's like the doctor, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, this is all we could do, and she's like, really? And he's like, I'm so sorry. And it's like, what?
I'm sorry, and then he turns around, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. Just slaps her.
Just like my stepsister. So,
But let's talk about when they before they leave there. Because that's when all the characters are introduced. So when they're at the train station, you see the girl that was in the bunker, kind of in the subways.
main girl,
Yeah,
Eve.
Eve. She's a school teacher with a heart of gold and always creepily smiling like she's gonna kill someone.
She's like Captain America, but nothing like Captain America. So
This is the part that, I mean, I've got a lot of parts that bother me, right? But she's standing there at the subway, or not at the subway, but the train station,
waiting for all the kids to show up.
Yeah, and then all the kids are like, actually, no, the kids are already there. She walks over to the kids, and the kids all at the same time go, "Good morning, Miss Mitchum," or whatever.
Yeah.
What's her name again? I can't even remember.
Miss Hitchens, whatever.
See, that's how terrible the character is. I can't even remember.
It doesn't matter. It's Eve.
She's white bread Wonder Woman. She'll save the day. She'll probably get thrown around a lot. It doesn't matter. She's kind of your standard. This movie has a lot of cliches, by the way.
Yes.
And we're going to get to that right now.
The introduction of cliche number 1.
Yes.
There's one last kid that shows up, and it's because his parents got bombed to death.
His house literally blew up.
He shows up with cuts on his face, and this kid, as Cody described...
I wrote a note here. I said, "Orphan boy looks like a fucking orphan."
Yeah, because he really does.
Like they couldn't have put him in any more. I don't know. Like the clothing, it screams orphan. Like
it was so stereotypical. I expected him to first come up to Eve, going, "Please, man, I want some more." You know,
he was
just
one cane away. One cane away from being
Tiny Tim.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, he shows up, and of course, here's the horror cliche: he does not talk.
Oh yeah, he can't. He's taken.
He hasn't talked since his parents died,
which was like probably an hour ago. Yeah. Let's be honest.
Which is okay.
Yeah,
that's not weird. Like I've gotten mad at just less.
Oh yeah.
Impactful shit and not talk to anybody for days.
Yeah. So amongst these people, there's the school kids. There's the teacher Eve, who's the main character, and then there's the headmistress.
Miss Battleaxe, as they call her.
Or, yeah, Colonel Battleaxe, or, I don't know, it's a really dumb line that shouldn't have been funny, but
it kind of
was. The characters thought it was hilarious. But she is kind of mean, but that's kind of the product of the time.
Yeah.
Like, I expect that from the 1940s. Like, the kid's not talking because he took a vow of silence or whatever, right? He's like a fucking monk.
Gay rights, whatever.
Yeah, sure. He's a homosexual, which is why he doesn't talk. I don't know. When did they do that in school, by the way?
That was back when I was like a freshman.
Do you remember that? Like kids would have whiteboards.
They would come with
and they would duct tape. Yeah, they'd tape their mouth.
I was just like, okay.
You know what I would do if I was a teacher? I'd just be like, Billy, you got to answer this question on the board. And then kid gets up. No. You're not going to get any of my expo markers. You have to tell me the answer. Poor Billy.
Poor Billy.
And
he failed that class.
And then he talks and everyone's just like...
They're like, haha, you don't support gays.
Yeah, they'll be like, sexist. And
so...
Poor Billy.
So, of course, that hardened Battleaxe woman.
Yeah,
she's like, you must get over this.
Yeah, no. She literally tells the kid, enough with this nonsense.
Enough with this nonsense. Your parents are dead. Get over it.
This nonsense.
Everybody's dying, bitch. So...
My dad died. Nonsense.
They show up to this small town, which is the same town from The Woman in Black 1, One and Done. Can you believe we got a sequel out of
And
this?
apparently it's nearby London. Not too far away, because they weren't on a train for more than a day, I'd say. Right?
Screen time was like less than a minute.
Yeah.
So it had to be close.
We have to talk about the train scene, though.
Very Harry Potter-esque.
Yeah,
without even having Daniel Radcliffe in it.
That's sad. That's really sad because it literally was like 9 3/4 shit. You know, it's getting all Harry Pottery up in here. It's getting a little Daniel-y, Radcliffe-y, and then there's not even Harry Potter. Like when it shows,
I would have settled for Ron Weasley. But
yeah, exactly. It shows Eve sitting in her seat, and it pans a little bit, and I thought they were gonna have fucking Hermione there, just going like, "Love your song."
There it is.
While
they're on the train too, they meet stereotype number 2.
Oh yes,
handsome hunk.
Yeah, random handsome guy that just happens to walk in.
And he's a pilot.
Ooh, that's what they all
Which
say.
was like a doctor back in the day.
Yeah, well,
You
no,
know,
not... Well.
like Eve even goes, you know what they say about pilots?
And you know what? We never found out what they say about
we
pilots.
never find out.
We don't really know.
I was really intrigued.
Well, what do you think what she meant by that? What do you think that they always say about pilots?
They're womanizers.
I was going to say alcoholics.
Probably both. Like, you could just tell from that pop collar jacket he was wearing.
Oh, yeah. He's wearing, like...
He was just showing it. He was peacocking around.
Oh, yeah. Who wears jackets like that? Chuck Norris?
Not me.
Chuck Norris.
He probably could.
He was wearing, like,
just
a Chuck Norris.
Just because if anybody said nay to that, he'd just be like, stare him down to death.
Well, you know what I mean. Oh, my God. He was Chuck Norris. It was Chuck Norris. Think about it. It was a tan leather jacket with, like, the white fur on the collar, right? And he had, like, brown gloves.
Yep, that's Chuck Norris.
It's just Chuck Norris.
Even Chuck Norris.
Even Norris.
You know what they say about Chuck pilots.
But he walks in there.
He's like, you go into this place? Yes, so am I.
Yeah. Oh, what a coincidence, right?
That's basically all the scene was, just to say, hey, you know, strong independent woman right here? We're going to throw handsome hunk in the mix.
Oh, and...
Because we need a love story up in
Yes.
this.
Of course, this entire podcast will be a huge spoiler through the whole movie.
Oh, yeah.
But there is something that I won't say until a little later, because it's kind of near the end. But he makes a huge faux pas when he introduces himself. Because the first thing he says to her is, aren't you a little young to have so many kids? And then it pans out and it shows, like, all the school kids in the same cab, right? Really not the coolest thing to say to her.
Yeah.
In her
you
case,
started young.
Yeah, exactly. In her case specifically, she did start young.
Yeah.
And you just don't find... Oh, it's so bad. That's so bad.
That's fucked up. That's like going up to a woman who grew up in an alcoholic family and being like, I think you've had a little too much to drink.
Yeah, exactly. But, like, you just don't know, right?
Yeah.
Like, he didn't know, but holy shit. I would have slapped him.
She could have yelled at him.
Yeah.
And we could have been like, oh, what a bitch. And then later find out, oh, he's the dick.
He's the douchebag. Well, they say some weird stuff to each other that I don't understand.
How did they flirt back in the 40s? Apparently like that.
Like terrible rom-coms?
Yes.
Without the com?
Nobody's learned.
All rom, no com.
For 70 years, no one's learned any better. So,
Apparently.
they get to this house.
Yes, they do.
And...
Oh, wait.
No, they get to the small town.
Yeah.
Same one from Women in Black. Place is completely deserted.
Was it full in the first one?
Yeah, it was lively.
So this place was a booming place.
Yeah, except for all the dying kids in that movie.
Was the house still deserted in the first one?
Yeah, because the hippopotamus,
Okay.
Woman in Black died a month prior to the events of the first Woman in Black.
So he's getting in there as soon as stuff is happening.
Yeah.
It hasn't even been haunted for more than a month.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
According to, like, I just watched, not to name drop, but I just watched the CinemaSins on it again to refresh myself.
Okay.
Because 15 minutes is way quicker than an hour and a half.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, according to them, as credible as they are, it happened a month prior. She died, and then she started haunting that place. Mm-hmm. So, they come into this town, and there's one blind guy, just cliche number 3.
Oh, yeah.
The
the crazy blind guy.
You're all doomed.
Exactly.
This place is spooked. Get the fuck out.
He's whispering something. I couldn't make out what he was saying.
It got clear as it went, but he was basically saying, like, if you see her, you're gonna die.
Really?
Basically stuff like that. That's why they had that crazy scene near the end.
But didn't, Oh, wow.
You can't see her, otherwise shit starts going down.
That's really...
When you see her, you're doomed, son.
Huh.
I
didn't pick up on that.
Yep. I only knew that because I saw the first
But this is why we're talking about it.
Yeah. See, that's that stuff.
Exactly.
You were confused? I enlightened you. Oof. I will feed you, baby bird.
Thank you, Derek.
The more you know.
Wow.
Excuse me. So, they go to the house after ignoring Crazy Blind Man. Mm-hmm. And they shack up.
Which, wait, I want to mention how we can't just go through the rough timeline of this. We got to point out stuff that that you find strange and I find strange. I don't know how much you let get away because you know how horror kind of always is. But I don't let this stuff walk by me because I think it's bullshit. So the car breaks down, right? And fuck if I know, but she's like, she hears something in the woods or whatever nearby, like near the buildings. She decides to like run after it for no reason.
No, don't do that.
No reason. And then she goes to the building. She's like, hello? Hello? And then that's when the blind guy pops up.
Yeah, you're all doomed.
Yeah, and she's like...
That's the only reason they find out is because cliche number 4, broken down car.
Yeah.
But it was only a tire, so they got away with it.
Yeah, and they had a spare in the bag, so whatever.
It's okay.
This movie confused me so much, because there's so much I like about it. Especially in the driving scene. Because they're driving through, it's foggy, right? The first one, was it foggy too? Because they're near
yeah, there was a lot of fog.
Okay.
That fog was basically a character of its own.
So
it got a paycheck at the end of the day, is what I'm saying.
Thicker and deeper of a character.
Yeah.
But it was... Okay, so it's foggy in this one too.
The fog was phoning it in this movie.
The fog was... It was actually. You can see you can see pretty much everything.
You could see right through it. It's just...
It's not even like foggy. It's just air. But they're driving through it, and this one stupid kid decides to say, hey, why don't we turn the fog lights on or whatever? And the guy turns around and goes, "Bog you." I know, but they say, you know, we can't.
We can't because we'll give away our location to the Germans.
Yeah, because it could be.
Why would the Germans come around up there? But whatever.
They were flying around that area.
So it was their way of saying, "Hey, we don't want to turn this shit on because it's supposed to be scary, kid."
Exactly. I thought that was brilliant. It's like, why would they have a reason to have the lights off? Because the Germans are flying overhead, and if they leave their headlights on, they might think it's something to bomb. I thought that was brilliant.
That was good.
Yeah, but I mean, other than that, the house itself, they didn't have to do that though.
That house is freaking cool.
The house is fucking old.
I like that house.
The house itself, yeah. But I mean, it's spooky.
Yeah, that's why I like it. It's so spooky. That's why I really liked The Woman in Black 1, is because it's very atmospheric. Mm-hmm. Which was a word you reintroduced to me. Yes.
Well, I mean, that's you got to play off the environment. That's half of the movie. Because if you have jump scares in, like, I don't know, a fun factory or like a circus, then it's just kind of
it's just cheap.
Yeah.
And shallow.
Yeah, just like my relationships. But Derek, I don't know. The thing is, they didn't have to say the lights out thing, blackout for the Germans.
Because they already put that overlaying thing of there's war going on.
Yeah. And
that's why we're hiding out here in the first place.
The house itself is so old that there's only one generator. The lights are really dim. Half the things use candles. I mean, it's going to be dark anyway.
That's why I'm glad it was called The Woman in Black. That explained why it was such a dark film.
It should have been called The House in Black. But you know what, though? Those scenes where they have, like, spooky imagery and it's, like, pitch black and you can kind of barely make them out were fucking great.
Yes.
I loved that. That one scene where they had the kids lined up and she was looking at them as she was suffocating herself. We'll get to that. But I just want to mention that right now. Do you remember that scene?
Yes.
Yeah, where she's like looking at the kids lined up that have died. That was so cool. It looked like a really creepy photograph, but it was a film.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's great.
There was a scene, too, where Eve first goes down into the cellar and she turns on the lantern, whatever, and there's that pan where we see Eve like this. It moves over, and you just barely see the woman in black right behind her.
Yes.
And all you can make out, because the only reason you know that that's a human being back there is because you can see her folded hands like this, like one over the other, like holding it out in front of her, like, just, I don't have pockets in this dress, so I gotta hold them somewhere.
Yeah.
And then her white face. And I was just like, yes, that's exactly what I loved about the first one, is because in the original one, Daniel Radcliffe, Mr. Harry Potter himself, would be standing looking out across this marsh, which is cool in itself.
Oh yeah, the marsh is really cool. I like how there's the cross right in the middle of it really makes it for some reason. Yeah. The little crucifix they have out there.
And whenever it would do that, you'd see her just in the back. And that's what I like about these films, is anytime they don't put her right up in your face, because that's when it gets hokey.
Yeah, exactly.
You put her in the back, that's when you start getting that horror that I like, where it's just like, the fuck was that?
Yeah.
You
Because
see
that's
something,
what the characters are feeling. They don't know where they are.
and it's not like a moving thing that makes it obvious. Like,
yeah,
what the fuck?
Exactly.
It's more like it moves over. You see something, and you're like, "What the fuck was that?"
There is something. Yeah, there is.
And
something
then other
to that.
people, and it's even better when the person next to you doesn't see that, and then they're like, "Wait, what? What do you see? What do you see? What is it? Isn't an idea?
Is it idea?" That's kind of why that's a thing. Like when people see these movies, they go, "Oh shit, it's right behind you," because like we see that, they don't. But that makes it creepier because we're experiencing.
It's right behind you. Turn around, you stupid bitch.
I can think of another time where I do love that in movies.
The Strangers did that.
I've never seen that. Like I said, Derek, I don't. I know you have quite a large library of horror movies.
It's right here. We'll have to watch it sometime.
You're going to make me watch it.
It's in my top 10 horror films ever.
Really?
Not to give it away. Episode 1, I'm already spilling my top 10, but...
Yeah, well, that list is out there. It depends on what we're going to say. Because people don't want to... I wouldn't want to hear too much of what's good. Because I can just watch a good movie and enjoy it. I want to hear why I shouldn't watch a movie, you know?
Yes. This one is such a mixed bag.
It's fun to pick at things too. That's what this movie's actually. This movie's actually pretty great.
Because what it does well, it does great.
But what it doesn't do well, it
sticks out like a sore thumb.
People in the theater were laughing
at those jump scares.
We were
like when little orphan kid Tiny Tim is looking up at this hole in the ceiling leading up to this other room on the second floor. All of a sudden, this douche kid just jumps in the screen with a gas mask going, "Blah!"
Yeah.
And the whole audience in the theater just goes, "Ha ha 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 ha." And I'm sitting there, I nudge Cody and I say, "What?"
Yeah, that's what I did. I was holding my hands out, like pointing at the screen, like, huh? I should have at least jumped at it, but for some reason I didn't react at all. I was like, what the fuck?
Because that was like the first time they ever showed that, I think. So, I was expecting like what's in there? Ah!
Yeah.
God damn it! You ruined.
You'd have been really creepy.
You ruined the mood. I went soft.
Is there just like a head like sort of like coming out of it? You know, really slowly. Mm-hmm. That's what I was going to say. I hate jump scares because like they can make it really creepy without it. What used to give me nightmares, and it wasn't a jump scare, was the movie with the aliens come in and it has what's it called? They're afraid they can't touch water. Like they get signs, yes. For some reason, I can never remember the name of that movie because it has nothing to do with the movie. There's not even a single sign in there.
Crop signs.
Is that one?
Crop circles, yeah.
But that's the thing. They're not even circles. I don't know. Title. That's a pretty bad title. You got to admit. It should have been called.
It's an overall kind of movie, but what it does well, again, is great.
Yeah, and that scene where they have the live footage of the aliens, and the kids are at a birthday party, and they're looking down the alley, and that alien just walks past. He doesn't jump out. He's not right in front of you. He just walks past slightly.
Nothing doing.
Just barely out of focus.
To where it's like Bigfoot, nope, alien.
Yeah, not even like scary music to go like boom, you know.
Yeah,
that scared the shit out of me.
I remember seeing that as a kid, going like a younger kid, because I'm not that old. Whatever you might hear, but
okay, Grandpa, tell me your story.
So when I was a youngster, when I first saw that, just like you, I went, "What the heck was that?" And my dad's just like, "Don't worry about it. It's just a movie."
It's just a movie.
And it isn't real. And
the next thing you know, he's just like, "What was that?" Just to fuck with you. He puts on a Santa Claus costume for some reason.
Ruined Christmas forever, let me tell you.
What the fuck are we talking about?
So, I'm just going to start talking highlights.
Yeah, that seems good. Because honestly, the movie itself was nothing but like segues
into cool shots.
Yeah, because the parts that weren't scary, there was no character development.
Nothing going.
Yeah.
Except for Eve and Handsome Hunk.
See? Do you remember his name?
Harry.
Harry, that's what it was.
Because that instantly made me think...
Harry Potter.
Yes.
Right? And it's like, where's the real Harry? Let's put the real Harry in this.
Will the real Harry Potter please stand up?
Well, he can't because he's dead.
That's right.
Dead. He's been dead for 40 years. Or so.
Oh, yeah, I spoiled that for you.
He's probably
spoiled again.
Oh, does he die in the first one?
Yes, he does.
Well, then why the fuck do you want him to come back? How would he come back? He's dead.
That's why I thought this movie was going to be crap, because I knew no way would he come back, and if he did come back, that'd be bullshit.
You know what would have been really cool, though?
Is see him as one of those ghosts.
Yes. Oh, he probably was. But we just didn't pay attention enough because we were too busy falling asleep.
Now I'm gonna have to buy that when it comes out on DVD and just freeze frame. And then after I analyze the movie full forth, I'm gonna be like, well, that was a waste of $15.
But you know what?
Or $24 on Blu-ray.
We haven't even mentioned what happens when they get to the house.
So they get to the house. The woman in black. Her name is Janet Humphrey in real life. Something Humphrey. J. Humphrey.
I'm not sure.
Dale Dimmadome.
Doug Dimmadome.
But
so we don't know her name. We'll just call her Doug.
Yes. So Doug, the woman in black, she starts doing spooky shit as ghosts do, and
well, obviously not right away.
Not right away. Like it does. She doesn't do the spooky shit that she did in the original one right away. Like what she does do is kind of give Eve nightmares about her.
Oh yeah, that's the very first spooky thing that happens.
Eve has these nightmares about being in a hospital, and this woman gives birth to a kid that's instantly taken away, and you just hear, "Let me see him." Ah. Yeah. And then she wakes up, goes down to the cellar, and then we see that great introduction of the woman in black, just the shadow, white hands, white face. Now it's just like,
But let's say why she's walking around. So she wakes up in the middle of the night because she's fucking spooked, and then she hears like a doom, doom, doom,
which
doom.
is another great thing.
Yeah, which is like, it's cool. It's like, what the fuck is going down? Yeah, what's going on in the boiler room, right? Sounds like
something like that.
So she goes in the basement, and she's like, "What is this shit?" And then
it's a rocking chair.
And this camera angle is at a certain point where you just see her walking down the stairs and like walking over to this rocking chair. And this rocking chair is just slamming and like going to fucking town.
It is the wildest rocking chair I've ever seen.
It is. It's
like I've seen Broncos more tame than that.
It's bucking. It's a bucking chair. It's not a rocking chair. It's
barely staying on the fucking ground.
Yeah, it's basically doing backflips.
Yeah.
But this thing's going crazy, and as soon as she walks over to it, it stops. But
of course,
the way the camera angle is set up is you can see it rocking the entire time until she sees it herself. Yeah. So you get this. That's like
kind of cool.
It is cool because it's like the character has no idea, right? But you do, and that makes it even spookier because you can't tell her, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Come on, listen, Eve.
It's like natural instinct to yell at the screen. This is the worst movie for people that don't talk, that can't stop talking at theaters. Because they'd be like, no.
Please, Eve.
Please, don't go in the fucking room, shit.
Have some sense, you're a fucking teacher.
Exactly. What does she teach anyway? They never talked about that.
She teaches. She just teaches.
She just teaches.
Yo teach. So, finally, stuff really starts getting into gear from the original, because in the original Woman in Black, all the kids start killing themselves in weird ways. Like the opening scene are these three sisters. They walk over to a window in their house, just jump out to their death.
Wow.
Opening scene. That's even before you see Harry Potter. But in this one, you see the one kid McDouche, who's been a real D-bag to orphan Tiny Tim. Yeah. And he gets up after Tiny Tim's been seeing the ghost do her thing.
Oh, yeah.
So he gets up, walks outside, just very still, like no noise really going. And then he just disappears, and everybody's like, Tim, where'd you go? Where'd you go, Tim?
What was his name again?
Probably Tim. I think that's Tim.
I feel like it is. See, this is how I know these characters don't matter, is because I don't remember their names. And this kid is the fucking movie. He is the most important thing from beginning to end, at least for the main character, Eve. And I don't know his name. That's sad. That's really sad. You know?
Got it. Edward.
Edward or Edward?
Edward. I had to hear it like 5 times before I realized, no, that's Ed Wood. Because if it was Edward, they would have been saying Edward. Wood. Instead of wood.
Edward. Yeah, you know they picked that name because it's old-timey.
Yes.
They wouldn't have done it for any other reason. They wouldn't have said, like,
Steven. It carries more weight than Tim.
Yeah, just,
Tim, where'd you go?
Or like Joe.
And this was kind of...
No one's looking for Joe.
Fuck Joe.
Fuck him.
This was kind of hinted at early on when they first get to the town, and that sheep, there's a sheep that's stuck in barbed wire.
Oh, yeah?
Tim dies in that barbed wire. Like, he's all wrapped up in it.
Oh.
They find...
Was that symbolism?
It could have been.
I don't think it was.
It could have been Chekhov's gun rules, you know?
Which
if you see it, if you show it on screen, it'll come into play later. That's the rule of Chekhov's gun.
I don't know. I feel like it was totally... I forgot that was a thing that happened, honestly.
I only remembered that because I saw barbed wire on Tim's face.
Oh, I see.
First kid that died. First death in the film. And I went, how'd he die? He just ran into some barbed wire and froze to death outside.
That's the thing. Also, I had no idea that it was barbed wire. I was looking at it like, what? And then it cut away, and then the headmistress comes over and says, kids, your friend died in barbed wire. And everyone's like, God damn it. And I had no idea.
It was an accident. None of us are safe out here. Even out here, away from the Nazis.
Yeah. It's like, even though we're in a safe place, we have to be on our toes. And it's like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, and this kid died because he was a douche.
Oh, yeah.
And then...
Let's talk about why he died first, though. Because, okay, this kid's a walking cliche. I've said it already.
The douche kid?
No,
or the orphan kid?
The orphan kid. But
orphan
let's talk about...
won't talk. Ed Wood.
Oh, yeah, but he also loves to draw.
Yeah.
Right? Just like every
subcategory
other...
cliche.
Yeah, really. No, so this kid loves to draw, and of course his drawings are fucking spooky.
Yeah, he draws the picture of the house,
yeah.
which is not to scale, which made me very upset.
He's a kid. I want the audience to guess in their heads right now, what do you think he draws holding his hand? That's right, the ghost. Of course, he fucking draws the ghost.
The woman in black.
Yeah, you got it. You can't be a creepy, quiet orphan kid and not draw the ghost in the movie.
But God
and then he's like, "Who's that? Is that your mom?" And
yeah,
he's just like, "What the?"
God damn it! If I don't get kind of spooked out though when I see simple drawings like that of just black figures and
true.
Dead black eyes like that.
It's true.
Like I knew that was coming, but like I saw that picture and I was just like, dude, if I was handed that in real life by my 3-year-old brother, I'd be like,
to the mental hospital.
We're fucking moving. So
well, that's the thing though. Like they always make it like. And he's the youngest kid, isn't he?
Maybe. He certainly looks the youngest.
I think he is.
He's got just that baby face. You know, orphan face.
He's got sweet old orphan cheeks.
Yeah, you just want to fucking rip him off.
Fuck him. I thought you were going to say fuck him.
No.
He's got that sweet orphan cheeks, man. You just want to slip in. Anyway, what did I say?
You just want to slip it in and peel boss a sausage.
Oh my god, no.
So after Tim dies, first douche, all of a sudden this girl who was defending little Ed Wood turns around and goes, "Hey, where'd you get that drawing back from?"
Yeah.
That was with Tim when he died. Ed Wood, the fuck's going on?
Yeah, the bully Tim, it's pretty insignificant, but he does take Ed Wood's drawing from him, puts it in his pocket.
Which, that's just the last straw.
And kind of dumb. Why would he want that drawing, right?
Because he's just a douche.
I don't know. So pretty much, that girl was
defending Ed Wood the entire time.
Trying to help him.
I'll tell on you, Tim, if you don't give back the drawing.
Yeah, helping him out. And she was the next guy. Pretty much anyone that interacts with this kid is a goner.
I think that's why nobody else got screen time.
Yeah.
There were like 7 orphans in the whole thing. Only 3 of them were significant. Tim, cute little neighbor girl, and Ed Wood.
Yeah, they were like, I'm not fucking talking to Ed Wood.
Yeah.
I'll fucking die.
That's what I would have done. As soon as Tim died, I would have been like, fuck it, I'm not talking to Ed Wood ever again.
I would have thrown myself in the marsh. I would have been like, fuck it.
I would have gone after Tim. He's my buddy.
But that's what's sad. The next kid to die, school child to die, is that arguably the
cutest little orphan in the whole place.
They're not all orphans though, are they?
Cutest little student.
I don't know. Like when I saw her, like that she was next, I felt really bad because I was like, oh.
She's adorable.
I don't want her to die. Yeah.
And also, she only did one dick thing.
Yeah.
And that was just like questioning him about it.
Uh-huh.
Like, she wasn't even being a bitch or anything.
Yeah.
She was just like, how'd you get that drawing back, Edward? I thought that was on Tim when he died.
And he just basically
Edward
flips
just
her
gives
off.
him the orphan look. Just.
And she's like, whatever.
And then all of a sudden, death scene, which ends.
Oh no, there's two different attempts.
because she follows this yarn, which leads her.
We're bouncing around though. We're bouncing around though. You know
Bouncing around like that yarn.
But see, we got to talk about the yarn itself. What is the yarn?
It's those old finger tanglement toys.
I
never played with them, but
it's basically like.
See, that's why I brought up the sheep with the barbed wire, because each thing related to their eventual death.
Yeah. So earlier,
Chekhov's gun.
In parts that were insignificant, she would be playing with this red yarn, like this red string yarn,
thing on your fingers,
making like the Eiffel Tower with her friend, right?
Whatever.
And
it is.
Edward, or I'm assuming the woman in black, had wrapped it around the house to lead to this one room, and sure enough, she sees the woman in black, and she tries to strangle herself with the fucking yarn.
And you see the one bit of blood in the whole movie because she gets a nosebleed.
Yeah, you gotta get that PG-13 rating in there, Derek.
Otherwise, this is just a fucking Disney film.
Yeah, it didn't need to be rated R, though, for what it was. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, it's PG-13 ratings are kind of a...
They make you go, okay, nobody's saying fuck in this film.
They're a turnoff for me now. I don't know why. Like, if I see like, I just wish superhero movies were rated R.
I know.
That would be so good. That would be so good.
Coincidentally enough, The Woman in Black was the first PG-13 horror film I saw, and I was just like, I'm giving these a shot now.
The first one?
Yeah. Because The Woman in Black in that one did all the spooky shit that I, as a kid, was freaked out about.
Yeah.
Nothing jumping in my face, but like,
do you mean
just
like...
what the fuck? That kind of thing. So, like, when she does her first spooky thing, we'll get back to Woman in Black too. But like, in The Woman in Black, the original, one and done, not so done, but it goes like this long atmospheric slow burn up to this point, and when it hits this point, Cody,
it's good.
It turns into 20 solid minutes of jump scare palooza.
But that's not necessarily a good thing.
It's not a necessarily good thing, but like the moments between each jump scare was just
intense.
Like tense as hell, like Hitchcock type of tense.
Okay, I see what you mean.
And like at one point, like near the end of it all, he sets up this thing to try and calm the spirit, which, since there's a sequel, doesn't work.
Yeah, that sucks.
And she, in the back, I see her. I see this figure, and my stomach just instantly goes, oh no.
Oh no.
I was just like, like, and at this point, I had only seen 300 scary films.
Oh my.
But like, so I was kind of a rookie.
A little bit of a bitch.
and so you see her, and he turns around, he turns around as she does this, but she comes flying at him with this loud, high-pitched scream, but it doesn't focus on her, like, up on her face.
Yeah.
She's in the back, and you hear this...
Right to the camera?
Like, right at him. The camera's over here, and to his right.
So it's showing the back of his head at this point.
No, he's like... This is the screen right here. Here's him.
The audience can't see that.
Right here.
But, yeah.
You see his face covering, like, half of the screen. In the back, you see her, and she just comes flying at him.
That's a really cool shot.
And it fucking made my stomach go...
And you lost 2 pounds.
My stomach shrunk 2 sizes that day.
You had to change your pants. Because
Yeah.
you had an evacuation.
And I'll tell you this, when ghosts, whatever, in a horror film, do that slide...
Yeah, like the magical, like, fly across.
Like
they're on a skateboard.
Yeah.
I know what you mean, yeah.
Or like conveyor belts, whatever.
Yeah.
That shit freaks me out because no human being is supposed to do that. That is unnatural.
Mama did that a lot.
Yeah.
Is that where you like that one?
Well, she does a lot of that floating stuff, like very ethereal kind of feel.
Yeah.
But like the Woman in Black just was this solid mass that just comes.
Like she wasn't moving at all. Just
nothing moved.
Yeah.
Just this just
And you know what? A scene like that can make the movie.
that I kept comparing everything in this movie to like what is that moment from the first one.
What is that moment? Tell me, what was your favorite? It doesn't have to be horror. What was your favorite moment in this movie?
In this one?
Yeah.
Anybody who watches this film, because it was not in any of the trailers that I saw, it is when I think it's right after Tim, the first kid, dies in the movie, which by then in the original one, maybe like 5 kids died. Mm. So this movie goes at a very slow burn. And he looks up at the hole in the ceiling again, and it's that part where her hand is right on the outside, and it doesn't move, and it's already there. So you're kind of like,
"What is that?
Is that her? Is that a hand?" And then all of a sudden, it just kind of retracts back into the hole.
Yeah,
like a fucking spider.
Like you wouldn't notice her hand is kind of hanging over the edge until she moves
unless
it back
you're
in.
Looking for that type of thing.
Yeah, and it's a split second too.
It's just like this hole, and her fingers are really just like spiders. Mm-hmm. They just back in, and I just went.
I had 2 moments. Actually, no, just one. But I think my favorite scene was the one where when the girl tries to kill herself for the second time and actually succeeds that time.
Puts on the gas mask.
Yeah, so
with the chloroform, I think it was.
Yeah, now we're back to that though. So the girl that had the yarn around her neck trying to kill herself by strangulation, she gets caught by the headmistress and she helps her out and rescues her.
And then, still believes no shit's going on.
Even though you know what? They never talked about if they asked her what's going on. Because I'm pretty sure that girl would have been like, yeah, this fucking ghost that told me to kill myself. But
nobody
they didn't
ask anything.
Nobody asked
Don't
her.
ask, don't tell.
So like an idiot, like a bunch of idiots, they just don't watch her. She's on suicide watch, right? They just go, fuck it, walk around. And she puts on this gas mask the kid used earlier to scare the orphan. Fucking suffocates herself, right?
By this point, too, they've gotten off of the house, of the island, and they've gone back into the mainland and shacked up in this airfield.
Was that after this, though? This was after this.
They were in...
This death was what made them go to the airfield.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So she puts on the gas mask full of, I don't know, whatever. She's just going to suffocate herself.
Chloroform, I assume.
I don't know. There could have been chemicals in the basement. Who knows? But as she walks in this empty room to kill herself, she turns this to the side and looks at this wall, and it's just a lineup of all the people that have died. And they're just watching her, like arms straight down, just staring at her. Kind of like in Insidious when he was going up and down the stairs, and he like looks at the bottom of the stairs, and the whole family that's all smiling just standing there. That was I love that. That was great.
And Sinister.
Yes.
As well does that type of thing, but that was really cool. I liked that scene too. The other really good scene that I liked in this one, when they're in that airfield bunker, they start realizing the woman has come back. Like they've come for her. They've come for them again because little dickhead Edward.
Oh yeah,
brought the doll again that he's been holding on to like a.
Yeah, he pretty much brings a cursed item with him everywhere.
Which is another cliche, but whatever.
This movie's full of...
Don't give a shit.
It is a cliche if you think about it, the entire movie. It's a fucking haunted house. What could get more basic than a haunted house?
There's something strange in the neighborhood. Who are you going to call? Not Ghostbusters, because this is 1941.
Exactly.
So they start realizing that's going to happen again. She's coming. So they're like... What did the old guy say? If you see her, you're gonna die. So they all hold each other's hands so they know if someone's gonna break off, break the circle. You can't break the circle no matter what you're doing. Trying to stay alive, trying to get high, whatever. Yeah. You can't break the circle. And then they all close their eyes and shit's going on all around them. And they're just like, don't open your eyes. And then, of course, Headmistress opens her eyes.
Yeah,
and all
because
of a sudden,
she thinks it's bullshit. Yeah.
That wasn't cool, but like the whole time they're sitting there just going, don't open your eyes, don't open your eyes. I started thinking of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
That's what I was going to say, like, don't open your eyes, and like everyone's face is melting off as the Ark of the Covenant's open up. Fucking Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
I don't know if they ripped that from that, but... by the way, you know how they say it, they're saying their prayer before bed?
Yes.
Or whatever.
During that scene.
Yeah, when they're holding hands trying to ward the spirits away, they have this prayer that they use for bed. I thought because
That was the wrong prayer to say.
I know.
I think.
I've never heard that prayer as a prayer because those are the exact words that are in that one part of Enter Sandman by Metallica. So when I was listening to them pray on the bed, I was like, what the fuck? These
You're
kids
like,
listen to Metallica?
It's 1941. That shit won't come out.
Yeah, like when they're like,
50
and
years.
I pray for my soul to keep, you know? It's like, what the fuck?
Oh, then you haven't seen Poltergeist, have you?
No, not really.
Ooh.
I can just quote the best parts of that. And by that, I mean, the parts that everyone says.
This house is clear. Whatever, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And there were those scenes. And,
do you want me to tell you one of the parts I thought was good too?
yes.
When the kid puts his sheets over his eyes, and it's like, if you see monsters, just put the sheets over your eyes, right?
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah, because the woman is in the corner.
Yeah.
And he's just like,
like I'm not gonna look. But it has the camera from his angle. You can see you can see inside the sheets, and it's like, oh shit, you can still see through the sheet. Oh god! And then it slowly has the woman
come up on him,
appear right in front of his face through the sheet.
That was just terrible.
Yeah.
Like terrible in a good way.
Yeah. I was
just
like,
no.
I was like, dude, you can still see it through it. No.
That's why I never took my grandma's sheets anytime I slept at her house, because she has those terrible see-through sheets.
The veneer ones.
I have the nice comforters like this one where you can't see through that with a high beam flashlight.
I've never been that afraid to have to do that. I don't know. That's just me though.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Yeah, ghosts can't see through sheets, dude.
Yeah, if you can't see them, they can't hurt you.
Yeah, we haven't. I don't think we've criticized the movie enough though. It's a lot of cliches.
The ending made me kind of upset.
No, that's true.
We'll talk about that.
But there's a lot of stuff that was good. Now that I'm thinking about it,
it's a mixed bag.
It is
for me.
So what would you say is the besides the ending, the very ending?
What's the worst?
Yeah, there's a lot of weak points. All the characters are vanilla. They're so vanilla. Like, the kid that you're supposed to care about, I actually really don't like. Like, I wish that he would just go off with the woman in black and die. But for some reason, our main character, who we're supposed to relate to, is in love with this kid. You know? Because she has a tragic backstory of her own.
Where her kid got taken away. Which we find out is the nightmares that she was having. That was her. And her son got taken away because she had a kid at a young age.
Which is why it was really inappropriate for that pilot guy, Harry, to say, a little young to, have all these kids, because she was too young to have those kids. Boom.
Yeah, what a dick.
What an asshole.
He's lucky she even kissed him in that film.
Which I thought was stupid, by the way, when she did.
That was really stupid.
Awkward.
That's what made me... Excuse me. That's what made me not like that. Because in the original... Harry Potter wasn't concerned with women because, well, he had a tragic backstory. His wife died giving birth to his son, who's back home wherever he comes from.
So what's he in the house for anyway?
He's doing paperwork concerning
the woman that died.
Yeah.
Okay.
A month after the fact she died, which you can forgive because it's that time. If it was this time, it'd be kind of reckless, but
Reckless Ralph. Sorry.
You son of a bitch.
I don't know where that came from.
So, but he doesn't try hooking up with any... He doesn't mack on any chicks while he's up there.
He doesn't try to hook up with a woman in black.
No.
Hey, baby, hey, boss, sexy ghost.
Yeah, it wasn't him trying to sexy up some hotel maid or a nurse or a sexy female pilot.
Oh, yeah, when she comes over, I'm a pilot. They all say that.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It was just... Harry Potter, just some doofus trying to do paperwork.
Trying to figure out
which he could have honestly done back at home.
Yeah.
But instead, he's just like, I gotta do this paperwork in the house, because
it's
old-fashioned.
It's like house sitting. If you have a free house to yourself, and it's that big...
He's gonna have a rager.
Yeah, but he didn't have one rager, did he?
He had a bit of a drinking problem.
Oh, really?
Which was hinted at. Like, he's a recovering alcoholic.
Oh, I see.
Because of said wife died.
Oh, well... I don't think that'd make you an alcoholic. I think that'd make you a drunk. I don't know.
I am.
Yes, exactly.
We can smell our own. But yeah, I liked the fact that it was just this doofus in the original one. just trying to do paperwork.
I really want to see.
He cared about his job.
I really want to see the original one because it sounds like it's doing all the things that are right in this, but with an interesting character, which is really what killed it because it was so bland. You know?
It was bland.
It was boring story, boring atmosphere, in an amazing environment.
In an amazing environment, amazing scares for the most part.
When Eve was walking through the house with like the torch and stuff, you know what I thought to myself? I thought like the secret library.
World.
No, what a wonderful world. No, I was thinking of the secret libraries in like Harry Potter when Harry would walk through there, you know, and it was dark and he had to be careful.
He had the invisibility cloak on.
Yeah.
Just his hand sticking out. Just shit, like, Headmaster's gonna catch me.
After seeing that, I can easily see Daniel Radcliffe in one of these movies. I was like, for sure, this is it. Put him in there. You know?
That's why I want to buy it, man. It's on my gotta get that list.
Gotta get that. Boom, boom, boom. Gotta get that. Fuck that. Yeah, I don't know. That's what's sad. But this movie had something. This is bringing a lot to the table. It's bringing a lot to the table.
Finally, at the end of the movie, Ed Wood tries...
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a lot of shit that is like, people realize, oh no, it's haunted, we gotta get out of here, and who cares? It's just stuff that you can predict.
He escapes the group, tries to go back to the woman in black, because he's all, I got my mindset.
Yeah, the kid, so even after they leave, and like
he's dead set on dying.
Yeah, that stupid fucking kid.
That fucking orphan
kid that you want to die. Wish. They think he dies for a little bit, because there was an explosion near that place that the airfield that they hid in. Mm-hmm. Just because the woman in black was fucking stuff up there, and then they thought, oh, there was an explosion out nearby this bunker.
Now that's the first time I've ever seen a ghost blow stuff up.
Yeah, pyrotechnics, literally.
And this is the 1940s. Step it up, horror.
Yeah, Jesus.
But so
ghosts with machine guns.
And this was another stupid moment when they're like, "He's dead, Eve. There's nothing you can do about it." And then Eve looks at the drawing, the same drawing, and goes, "They're waiting for me at the house." Like, I was just like, what the fuck? How do you know that?
Yeah.
I don't even know when the fuck people are mad at me in my own house, and yet she all of a sudden knows, oh yeah, this woman is waiting for me. For
all she knows,
that fucking kid is dead, and she's just going to kill herself.
They found like a destroyed shoe, and let me tell you, if that shoe, the foot is such an extremity on your body. It's way out here. If that fucking shoe was that destroyed, he probably has no legs.
Yeah.
Like, for real.
He's Stumpy the orphan.
He's gone. But what's dumb is, for all she knew, when he was drawing that picture of the woman in black holding his hand, maybe that's because Ed Wood thought that she liked him. For all she knew, what if the woman in black really didn't give a fuck?
Yeah.
What if she was like, just pretend to like that kid, right?
Because, like, Eve, being all of a sudden selfish, assumes that the woman in black's doing this all because she lost her kid. Like, she gave up her kid. And she's like...
That's also what I don't get.
What?
She didn't give her up. They took their kid away from her.
Like, that whole conflict was stupid.
Yeah.
And since it was kind of mentioned in the first one, I'll mention it here. The whole reason the woman in black is such this cursed bitch is because when she had a kid herself, a son. Her sister, I believe, in the very first one, took the kid away and raised it as her own son. But she was the caretaker, like the maid, in that house. Oh. So she lived with her son the entire time, but nobody could tell this boy that was the relation that they had. Yeah. So as far as that kid ever knew, that was just a maid.
Why is the ghost a killer, though?
Here's the clincher.
Why do the ghosts gotta kill people, Derek?
Why do ghosts gotta be meanies?
Can't they be friendly like Casper?
Not all the time, Cody. Or I'd have nothing to watch. So, on a mystical sleigh ride, coming back from town out to this lonely-ass spooky house, yet to be spooky house, the tide comes in on that little trail, which cuts the house off from everything inward for like miles. The carriage flips and the son falls into the marsh and drowns. That's why there's that cross there. And the woman, soon to be in black, blames the entire thing on her sister because she's like, you could have saved him. Which that voiceover reading those letters, chills down my spine.
Yeah.
She's just like, you didn't do anything to save him.
My God.
Because he wasn't your son. He was my son, and you took him away from me. All this stuff. Chills, they're multiplying.
You're getting chills just thinking about this.
Yeah.
Huh? Wow.
It's crazy shit. Like, that emotional stuff tingles with me. That's why I like Mama. So then, after she starts blaming all that shit on her, afterwards, like 2 days later, I think they said in the film, she hangs herself because she's just like, I can't live without my son. So then she becomes that vengeful spirit you see in these 2 films.
So pretty much, oh gosh, so she's punishing Eve because she let her son go?
Because she let her son go.
Even though it wasn't her fault?
Yeah.
So this vengeful ghost is like really prejudiced.
That's what doesn't make sense about that, because in the original Woman in Black, she's not trying to punish Harry Potter for like losing his dead wife and stuff. She's just there fucking shit up for all the village kids.
Do you think she's an allegory for like death and like how the death of a loved one is?
That would explain why it's called Angel of Death.
There you go. See, like the woman in black isn't probably supposed to be like, because if she is punishing them for something, she's punishing them for nothing, and she's just a big bitch.
Yeah.
So
she's a skanky bitch who can't get over anything. She should have just died peaceful.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about the original Woman in Black.
What's that?
So, in order to try and stop all these village kids from dying, and also from Harry Potter getting too spooked out to not finish his paperwork, he decides, hey, you know what we should do? We should go get the body of that kid who died in the marsh.
Oh no.
And take his dead body, put it out so the ghost can see it, reunite with it, because maybe the spirit's lingering around that corpse, whatever. And then he finally, last step after all that, like that big scare I mentioned, he takes it over to her grave and buries it with her.
That did not work, apparently.
It did not work.
That's bullshit.
But I thought that was great. I was like, man, why is no one proactive like Harry Potter anymore?
So she really is just being a huge bitch.
Yeah. This whole movie just shows her being a bitch.
Yeah, even in death, people seem to have been trying to help her. Even Daniel Radcliffe, he was...
Yeah. And then he ends up dying at the end. Spoiler alert.
What does he die from?
He dies trying to save his son from a train.
Oh, that's fucking sad.
Because he's about to leave again because his son shows up with their caretaker, and they're about to leave. He's saying his farewells to this dude he made friends with over there in the town, and then all of a sudden his boy walks away from him at this train station, which is ridiculous because you'd think after all the bullshit of trying to save his kid, he would have held tighter on.
Yeah.
He would have had that motherfucker on a leash.
He would fucking tape him to his leg.
The little youngster sees the Woman in Black.
Oh, come on, really?
Walks onto the train tracks, and Harry Potter jumps into the train tracks to try and save him. They both die.
Oh, wow. That sucks.
So then, right at the end, sad ending turns kind of bittersweet, happy ending, because they reunite with his wife and the kid's mom.
Oh, does it show that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really sweet.
He's like, hey, Daddy, who's that lady? And at first you're like, shit, Woman in Black, whatever. And then
he goes, that's your mom.
Yeah. Off screen, at first, he's just like, it's your mummy. And I was just like, ah.
Oh, that's really cool. What the fuck? That's so sweet.
That's a cool movie, right?
I like that. That's some, like, I don't know.
That's kind of like 1408 if John Cusack died at the end.
Yeah. That was sad, too. I don't know. I like that. That's really bittersweet. I love it.
So, yeah, this whole movie, if you take anything from it, is the Woman in Black's just being a fucking rag.
Yeah, apparently. It's just a ghost being a bitch for no reason. And
especially to Eve, who's like the nicest woman in World War II.
They try to give reasons for the ghost to... They only give reasons for the ghost to be there, not necessarily why they should pick on Eve. As well as how they defeat the ghost. Do you remember that shit?
Because
at the very
Harry
end...
the hunk
Yes.
sacrifices himself.
Yes. So, pretty much, at the very end of the movie, the kid gets so possessed by this woman that he just decides
he's
to
gonna
walk...
drown himself at the same spot
the
Her
kid.
son died.
Yeah, so he's walking straight into the marsh, right to the cross, and Eve is like, "No, fight him off. You gotta fight him off." And then she
happy thoughts.
Yeah, not even joking. She says, "Remember what your mother said? Think of happy thoughts to fight the bad thoughts."
That fucking killed me.
And then the kid's like, "Oh yeah, fucking rainbows and shit." And then he snaps out of it.
Happy place, happy.
So dumb. He snaps out of the shit. Turns around, you're like, "Wow, really?" But then a bunch of fucking
ghosts
corpses
come up, try to pull him down, and then you're like, "Fuck!" And then Harry the Hunk pops up, dives down, saves him.
So
and then he dies instead.
Yeah, right after a really shitty
they fucked that shit up in Annabelle too.
Did they?
Yeah, and I'll let you finish before I say that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the worst way for him to have a realization that he's being possessed. It was so lame, so lame.
The power of love.
Yeah, it could have been power. That would have been better. Remember that I love you. If she, that would have been way better if she said I love you like you were my son or some shit.
They don't love you like I love you.
Yeah, right. But instead,
just sing maps to him.
Instead, she's just like, think of happy thoughts. Not even kidding. Like, okay.
Shit.
Turns around and you're like, oh, whatever. But then, as soon as he's about to get off the fucking beach, of course, it has to be an action scene now, right?
Yep.
Fucking ghost grab his leg, pull him down, pull her down. And like you said, Harry the Hunk comes in, frees him. He gets dragged down instead for no fucking reason.
And dies. And I was just like, huh. They did that shit in Annabelle where, they were getting all haunted and shit. And then this black woman who befriended main character, female, goes, you know what? I was saved in my other accident that killed my daughter for a reason. It's to sacrifice myself for you people.
What?
She
what kind of logic is that?
She doesn't exactly say it like that, but it comes across like that.
Wow, what a bitch.
So she jumps off the ledge to take this demon with her. But I was just like, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
That movie ended terribly. So
that was a pretty bad ending.
As much of a spin-off as The Conjuring could be, it was just garbage.
Yeah.
Which could be elaborated on a different day, but... So, it didn't work then, and it certainly isn't going to work in fucking 2015.
I don't know. But do you have any points that you'd like to bring up of really negative moments in the movie?
Stop it with the jump scares at the end. Stop it.
That was absolute garbage. So after the Eve and the kid get together, right?
Because the kid starts talking as soon as everything's over.
Yeah. The first thing he says.
I'm sorry.
At the very end of the movie, the very first thing he says, they're on the beach throwing up salt water. He goes, "I'm sorry." I would have fucking punched him and go, "Get the fuck out of here.
I'm gonna drown you, bitch.
You're sorry? Yeah, eat mud." Right?
Eat suds, motherfucker.
I run trains on you bitches. I don't know. Fucking, that was just so dumb.
So then all happy ending, and then the last shot is on this picture of Harry the Hunk.
Yeah, they're in a nice
troop.
house.
And whatever, and then all of a sudden, that stupid jump scare at the end of every, 90% of horror films anymore, all of a sudden, cracks and Woman in Black is in there.
Yeah.
So that means Harry the Hunk died for no reason.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which sucks, because I wanted to see, because as much as their romance was just kind of...
I still wanted them to be together.
It was like a washcloth, that's how... it's how engaging I found it, but
Yeah.
I wanted to see them get together because she deserves another chance at love.
I did too. She did nothing wrong. She literally was. It's not her fault that they took her baby away. She was an excellent teacher. She was living through the war, teaching kids still. And what did she get out of that? Nothing.
No love.
She gets
except for an orphan.
She gets a really shitty kid.
Yeah.
And honestly, I hate. Also, how long is the period between them getting saved by Harry on the beach? To the very end where they're in a nice little apartment.
Arbitrary time.
Because that's a thing.
Could have been the next day.
But when did London stop being bombed? You know?
Had to be around 46. So at least at the most 5 years later.
I have no idea.
Which is ridiculous because that kid didn't age a bit. So I'm guessing
that's what I was saying.
It had to be either the next day.
Yeah.
Or a month later.
I don't know.
That's what I'm thinking.
Also, where did she get that photo of his platoon? Did he just take it? Did she take it from the bunker that he was in earlier? Probably, yeah. That makes sense.
Because she's a sentimental fool.
There's one thing that I didn't talk about actually, okay, so let's... what do you think... what What do you think this movie brought to the table? Do you think it brought anything new?
It did not.
No, it was cliche. It was the biggest cliche ever.
It had a couple cool scares.
Yeah, I mean, I
brought
enjoyed it.
It brought nothing to the Woman in Black mythos.
Yeah,
because it just repeated the same thing. That's like saying Friday the 13th Part 2 brought something new to the table.
Yeah,
it's like, oh well, actually it did. Never mind. That's a terrible example.
I've never seen anyone die by throwing an axe into their back.
Between 5 and 6, nothing new was added on Friday the 13th. It was just still, Jason wants to kill people.
Did you enjoy Women in Black 2, though?
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
Like 70% of it I enjoyed.
Me too.
Like as long as I didn't focus on that plot.
Yeah. It was one of those movies where you would just say, neat, you know?
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, oh, you should see it. But, like, not for what it is, but for
like,
certain things. Like, if you're into, like, picking apart movies and finding out spots that you like. And
like us assholes.
Yeah, like, I have, for example, I wrote something down that I didn't get to mention, but I've never seen this before in a horror movie. You probably have, but as someone that doesn't watch a lot, I haven't. They had a jump scare where instead of something being there that wasn't there, something wasn't there that was there. It, like, disappeared when she looked back. When she goes back to get her orphan from the Woman in Black,
final showdown.
Pretty much, the final showdown. She walks in the house, and the first thing that happens is she sees one of the dead bodies of the kids.
Yes.
Yeah, one of the dead bodies of the kids that had died early, and she's like, what the fuck? Why is his body here
Only
on the
kid
bed?
number 3 that died.
Exactly, right, yeah. And she's like, why the fuck is his dead body on this bed right here in this room? And she turns around because she hears noise, and she looks back, and the body's gone. And I was like, that's weird. I've never seen a jump scare where it was gone.
Yeah, it made like the zinger of a jump scare. Yeah. It shouldn't have,
and
but
she jumped, too.
Did.
She was like, and it was like, well, that's interesting.
Yeah, I've seen that before, but not with the jump scare zinger.
Yeah.
Which was weird, which made me go, huh.
I'm getting really sick of, like, the music that's just way too loud. That, like, tells you when shit's...
Ding!
Yeah, it's like...
I know it's scary, goddammit.
It might as well be Star Trek. You know? That's Jurassic Park there.
Damn it.
Oh my god.
I don't know Star Trek. I'm not a nerd.
But yeah, that's the problem with this movie. It's so mediocre that there wasn't like a part where I go, that's stupid. You know, it's just kind of a general mediocrity.
It's inoffensive.
Yeah. It's inoffensive.
At best.
I don't know.
Because it had some cool bits. Didn't add anything to the Woman in Black mythos, which now exists because of a sequel existing. I just hope there's not a third one that takes place in the 70s.
Oh, you know there's going to be. You know there's going to be some jive turkeys walking into the... Damn, there goes... Tyler Perry.
Yeah, this looks like a jive place.
Tyler Perry, Woman in Black 3. What you mean, Woman in Black? I don't know. That's racist.
Oh, it was just...
Or is it? I don't know anymore.
I would look up what the next horror film is going to be, but my laptop's being currently used to power this machine. This mythical
you make
machine.
It sound like we're hooked up to like life support. We have
beep
beep beep beep beep beep on the Jeep.
Beep beep Jenny.
You know, I guess if I were to say anything about this movie,
it passes the time.
Rent it.
It's a solid rental.
Yeah, it's worth $5 or $1.
And
or free.
You know what? You don't even have to watch the first one to catch up on this.
Just whenever you see Harry on screen, the pilot guy, just mute him.
Yeah.
Because he says some stupid shit.
He's as dry as a cardboard.
He's literally like he's there to deliver.
But goddamn it, is he like
that aren't smooth in real life?
Yeah. He tries to swoon the ladies, so he's like one of those handsome hunks that will totally get all the teenage girls that watch this film.
Now,
like,
who is that actor though? He's so familiar.
He looks like the guy from Maze Runner.
No, because no one saw that movie.
I got that film for somebody. For Christmas.
You're evil. That movie was in theaters for like a day. Not even kidding.
It was based on a book.
The Hunger Games.
Did you see Fury?
No. Wasn't that the one with Brad Pitt and the tanks? That looked really cool. I was going to see it because my friend Chase...
You know that whiny teenage kid that's in the movie that Brad Pitt's just like, you ain't nothing.
Not really. Is he in Maze Runner?
Yeah, same guy. Brad Pitt's not, but...
I see.
The other whiny kid. Teen Wolf?
Teen Wolf, really?
Like, not the movie, the TV show.
Oh, who the hell's seen that?
Yeah. Damn.
Do you watch anything horror related? You have a problem. If it's got werewolves or anything, you watch it.
No, I don't watch that. I just know the guy from... He's in a lot of teen-related stuff.
You know what we need to do?
But he looks like Harry the Hunk here.
Next new moon, next new moon that's coming up on like one of the dates that we record. We need to make a Harry Potter, or not Harry Potter, but a Twilight binge.
Oh, no. Please, no. I don't need this.
Are you looking up when the next new moon is? I would like to do a Twilight themed episode. The
good and the bad and the shitty.
The bland, the okay, the bland, and the shitty. Are you looking it up right now?
Oh, it's not gonna show it on this one.
No.
Probably not. Oh no, I gotta throw away this calendar. It's 2014. That's obsolete.
Yeah, what the fuck, Derek? You're looking at when the next new moon is, but you don't even have a 2015 calendar.
It has January 2015 right in the corner.
No,
but
it doesn't tell you shit, though.
It tells me nothing.
That's unfortunate.
You can look at my year in retrospective from here, because I wrote down all the ones.
Well, let's put that down and give our final thoughts, I suppose.
Yeah. So, The Woman in Black 2, like you said, solid rental.
Yep, that's pretty much it. All right. Now we're going to rate the movie out of Spooks.
Spooks. So 0 to 10 Spooks.
Yes,
0
out of 10
being
spooks.
Just like Troll 2. And then, whoops, gave that away.
And 10 being, what would you give it 10?
Oh, man. Well, my favorite film is The Thing.
I like that movie,
The
too.
original.
Yes.
Not the prequel.
Never seen
that
the
came
remake.
out just 4 years ago.
Yeah,
That thing was shit.
Was it?
Yeah.
I hear it was okay.
The CGI was terrible.
Yeah, you can't CGI that. That's something that has to be puppets.
So, from Troll 2 to The Thing...
So, like, okay, is that a Spooks? It's a little... You know what? No, that's not really unclear, because people use, like, stars. Like, what am I supposed to relate stars to? Like, oh, I got 5 out of 5 stars. Like, oh, you have 5 stars or some shit? You know, like, you got, like, fucking...
fucker.
You have, like, the nebula of the cosmos in your pants or
That's our trademark thing. Spooks.
Let's not make it a thing. But I gave
0 to 10 Spooks.
Yes.
Cody.
I gave it a 7 out of 10 Spooks.
I love it. Because it sounds very serious, but...
It does.
Spooks.
7 out of 10 Spooks.
I'd say 7 out of 10 Spooks.
Really?
As well.
Wow, okay, we're kicking off to a good start.
Oh, yeah.
We're spook bumping. Spook bump!
Spook
That's
bumps.
it. Oh, God. You know, we need to have like a
Goosebumps variety hour.
No. Well, yes, that's a great idea, but we need to have some kind of trade-off, like some kind of sign-off, like keep on wizarding or something, you know? It's going to be impossible.
We'll warm up to the idea.
Yeah.
Took us forever just to warm up to talking into a microphone.
It's true. I feel like it doesn't really feel like we're talking just you and me, because we know that other people might be listening to this.
It's you and me and all of the people.
Oh, God.
They got nothing to do but listen to this. And
What's that one song that's gosh, just you and me? No. What am I thinking of? It's just the two of us.
We can make it if we try. Just the two
We're terrible.
Just the two of us.
So we've been drinking probably a bit too much, and we've probably been rambling.
It's only been 2 cans.
A bit too long.
Longer than we intended, probably, but
Definitely.
At least you got 90% of a solid review here.
90%. We jumped around a lot.
Yeah.
So if we plan on doing this again, and
we're going to prepare this time.
Yes, we'll
Especially
plan
if
it
there
out.
isn't a movie coming out next week. We'll have time throughout the week.
Mm-hmm. This was very last minute. In fact, we didn't even plan on recording in this room. We didn't really... I don't know. I mean, I'm glad we're in here. I'm glad I'm with you.
Likewise.
But I didn't plan on being in here, and I don't think you did either. So it just kind of happened.
Goodness gracious, it's 2:47.
It is. Well, I hope you enjoyed this.
We will be back next week, whether you like it or not.
But
hopefully you like it.
Are we just going to do it anyway, no matter what they say?
Yeah.
Why?
You'll be in my heart, no matter what they say.
Well, if anything, we got some really wacky shit in the beginning that I don't even know what we were talking about.
So yes, we will hopefully be back next week. Whether you like it or not.
You already said that.
I know.
Oh god. Oh my god. I'm just gonna turn.
So anyway, see you next week.